I'm not contradicting myself. I'm saying you can
Right.
certainly you can certainly fold the river if somebody bets again if you're unsure, but you're making a crazy call on the turn here. Is Damasco, right? Is that right?
It's Dom. So you can just call me Dom though. What's
Oh,
up,
Dom.
Bart?
Sorry about that. How you doing, Dom?
No, you're good. You're good. 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 How are you?
Good.
Good. All right. So I have a hand from the Hard Rock in Hollywood.
Okay.
It's a 5'10", 2,500 cap.
This is Hollywood in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Okay, 2,500. 510 uncapped.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're 3.5K effective.
Okay.
All right. So under the gun, he opens to 40.
Okay.
Middle position flats. And then I like to 3-bet 9 of hearts, 9 of clubs, and the cutoff to 200.
So under the gun to 40, MP calls, hero in cutoff. What did you say? 9 of clubs, 9 of hearts?
Yep.
Okay. And you make it 200. All right. I mean, yeah, you got the overlay, right? I mean, if that guy had called in between, would you have 3-bet here?
I probably would have flatted, but like some of these games tend to have a lot of 3-bets. So especially there's a lot of dead money, so I'd rather just do the squeezing myself.
Right. Well, I mean, right. No, I get it. And again, this is the way to sort of print money in live poker, right? Like there's a lot of guys that are going to be sort of flatting too wide, right? In between.
Right, yeah. So they both call?
They both call. Just like that, huh?
Yeah. Florida.
So you got a double flatter in there from MP1. Double flatter means somebody that's called and then called a 3-bet, which is usually going to be a pretty weak range here. So 600. When was this played, by the way, recently?
This is like a couple weeks ago.
Plexiglass and all there?
Excuse me?
Like you guys have plexiglass there and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right now it's 8-handed plexiglass.
8-handed plexiglass. Okay. All right, let's go to the flop.
All right. Flop comes Jack of diamonds, 10 of diamonds, 8 of diamonds.
Jack of diamonds, 10 of diamonds, 8 of diamonds. And you've got 9 of clubs, 9 of hearts, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And check to me and I check back. I feel like that's pretty standard.
Check, check, check. Okay.
Turn is the offsuit queen.
All right, I'm going to put the queen of spades here. So 10, Jack 10, 8, all diamonds, turns to queen of spades. And now you have a straight. Mm-hmm.
Check to me and I bet 375.
Okay.
And now under the gun check raises to 1100 and the guy in the middle folds.
So you remember what I emailed you this morning, Dom, right? Or yesterday?
Yeah.
So when you emailed me this hand, Dom, it was a while back because I think, were you scheduled to come on the show last week when we canceled it because of the weather?
Yeah. Last week.
So when I looked at this hand again, I didn't realize that the board was monotone. Because even if I think it's more interesting if the board's not monotone here. Like even if the board's not monotone here, I can still see folding. Jack 10, 8,
Okay.
queen with 9s. I can still see folding if the board's not monotone. Because I think that someone can have ace king here quite a bit. Whenever somebody is putting pressure on you as the pre-flop betting leader, when ace king is out there, that is usually a very, very sort of strong type of scenario, especially in a multi-way pot. With the board being monotone, forget about it, dude. I'm out of this hand. The guy probably flopped a flush.
Yeah, I was thinking you were gonna say that, honestly. The main villain in this hand, he's very he's kind of wild. He's a Euro reg, but he's not like a typical Euro reg. He gets after it, and he check raises a ton of turns for value with the nuts, whatever. But he's always check raising the turn. So I've seen him do this on similar boards, on like monotone boards with like top pair and like he could have like king queen here with like the king of diamonds. Like I've seen him do stuff like that.
Well, listen, man, I just, I think somebody in the chat was saying it a little bit earlier too. I don't know And I don't want to know actually the deep, and you didn't do this in your email, but sometimes people will give like these, like just emails of like background history. And it's like,
Right.
you know, I'm not like, I don't, I can only give you the best advice, which is basically in kind of a somewhat of a neutral type of scenario. Now, if you've got a reason to make a vast deviation because you think a guy is, way out of line, then sure, then you start to call, a little bit wider parts of your range. I'm just saying you would have to have an incredible reason to do this. Like on paper, this seems like it would, I think your check back is decent, but usually in 3-bet pots, like I said, people aren't going to be going after the pre-flop raiser as a bluff when ace king is usually going to be a very strong hand. Now it's not the nuts here because there's diamonds out there, but I would, like I said, I would even be concerned if it wasn't monotone. But what did you continue on or what?
Yeah, I called. And then the
Only
river
you can't, you certainly can't improve, right? I mean, I guess you can get a blank.
Yeah.
All right. So 2,800 now, right? 2,800, 1,112. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the river's just a 3.
Okay. 3 clubs.
Offsuit 3.
Yeah.
And he jams the rest, which is like 2,200.
I mean, I'll bring this up again here too. Like I don't buy into the whole adage of, well, if you call the turn and nothing changes on the river, you have to call because why did you call the turn? I have always been a strong advocate, and I'll continue to be an advocate of saying that the bet on the river is changed enough. However, how can you not call the river if you called the turn here with that description? I'm not contradicting myself. I'm saying you can certainly you can certainly fold the river if somebody bets again if you're unsure, but you're making a crazy call on the turn here. So how can you go call fold?
Yeah. I've seen him give up on rivers before, like where he check raises the turn like this and then gives up on river. So that's kind of why I called to evaluate again on the river.
I like I said, man, I mean, you got to really, I mean, you really have to have a history with this guy to make that, to say, well, I'm going to call, but then I'm going to give up on the river. So what ended up happening?
Right. I ended up folding, but I tanked for a while and I folded. And afterwards, I was thinking about the turn. I felt like I should have just folded, but the history, it was like in my head the whole time.
I just don't understand how you can call the turn and not call the river given that description.
Right.
And that's not an example of, that is not an example of if you call the turn, you have to call the river. But in this hand, how can you call the turn and fold the river? I mean, that's my thinking. The hand's, again, the hand is a little bit off the rails anyways, but.
Right, yeah. The whole check raise turn, like, really got, like, I don't know. The history really got to me in the middle of the hand.
But why didn't you just fold the turn then?
Because I just, at the time I was, like, I had just seen him make a bluff where he, like, it was also on a monotone board where he check raised the turn. And he had top pair with a diamond draw. And then he just gave up the river and lost the hand. So that was in my head. And then I see this guy check raise so many turns. So that's why I continued on the turn.
Yeah, but like how many times have you seen this exact example? This is where people will sort of misconstrue things. Like, how is it possible to be able to even see how often a player responds in a 3-bet, 3-way pot, multi-way on a monotone board? His response when he check raise, first of all, his frequency of check raising the turn versus the 3-better, and then his response when called across the river. Even if you played like 1,000 hours with this guy, there's a very good chance that you would not see a similar situation happen and get the hand shown down. Am I right? I mean, I know that just from commentating. I mean, that's why I think that a lot of people are kind of, sometimes they'll misconstrue like what they know about a player. It'll force them into a far, far too much of a deviation, which can be, a little bit of a mistake in itself. But thanks for the call.
Right.
Thanks for the call, Dom.
Yep, thanks, Bart.
All right. If you like what you've seen here, please hit the subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this call-in hand, hit the like button down below. To check out crushlivepoker.com, click on the link in the description. Use the code YTA300 to get the first 30 days for free.